Cyan man, if you can read this message, then you must never play Devil May Cry 2. Please, or you will hurt yourself. Please play all Devil May Cry games except Devil May Cry 2. How do we tell them about DMC 2? Like everyone else is saying, skip 2. Devil May Cry 1 is great. Devil May Cry 2 is awful. By God, skip the second game. I feel I speak for the majority here in saying it is completely okay to skip 2. Play the second at your own peril. I got into the series playing 1, 2, and 3. Liked the first game, loved the third, but the second bit me in the balls and killed my dog. Borrowing from the wise words of Jin Erso from Rogue One, I rebel. So I played it anyway. Mind meld with me for a minute, and imagine, if you will, a story written and pieced together by the Have You Ever Had a Dream kid while hiring the cameraman from Cloverfield, who also happens to have a lazy eye. Now imagine playing a game through this man's camera to enjoy attacking most of your enemies off screen while learning what vertigo feels like. And boom, that's not a recurring nightmare of mine. That's Devil May Cry 2.
Sparda eradicated the demons.
If you can't trust the narrator, then who can you trust? I want to say I don't hate this game. On the one hand, I feel kind of bad ragging on this game because I know it went through some development hell, which was no fault to them, really. A lot of the people who made this were forced to make it in a very short amount of time. For some reason, Capcom kind of tossed the game around to a bunch of different studios instead of leaving it with the original creators of Devil May Cry 1 because they wanted to make it its own thing and have a darker turn on everything. By the time it finally reached the director that had to put everything together in 6 months, it was a series of largely unconnected concepts that had to be strung together like pretty badly, and they did their best. It was a bad hand to be dealt. On the other hand, I feel like this game just gave me a stroke, so I'm gonna talk about it, and I don't care. And you at least gotta agree there's something wrong with this camera angle. This time around, you get to play as either Lucia, who exists, I guess, and has natural hair that's natural. Or Dante, the son of Sparda. Yeah, Dante, the charismatic, cool guy from Devil May Cry 1 with all the quips. I know this guy.
You called? You knew him? Looks like it's your lucky day.
Now that's some character development. If he doesn't say anything else in the first half of the game, that'd be so cool. He doesn't? Hell yeah! Pop quiz time, Brainiacs. What happens next? Is it A, they f***ing die, B, Dante turns into a demon and flies away to save everyone, or C, the explosion is never explained and an old woman walks out of the basement like nothing happened? That's right, gamers, it's C. And if you thought for a second it was A and B, you're an idiot. I don't know what happened, but the story and plot took a vacation on this one. Let's just say the lore of Neon Genesis Evangelion makes more sense to me than this game. There's a lot of unexplained things. Now, I'm not talking about needing more exposition. Executing a story based in mystery and unexplained events can be incredibly well done. Not talking about that. My problem is that the game almost gaslights the player into believing that it relayed information it never did. Near the end of the game, Lucia says,
I was created by him.
Every hero has a weakness.
But the ritual was activated because of me.
Now maybe I'm just a smooth-brained idiot, but rewatching all the cutscenes, I couldn't find a single time prior to this that either of those major conflicts were mentioned. Now, okay, is a story where a guy can block a motorcycle with bullets the place to care about logic, you ask? Maybe not, but I don't care. So you'll have to forgive me, but I had a hard time digesting this one. The first game was kind enough to give you an objective in each of the missions. This is completely missing in this game. All right, rapid fire speed round time of things that stirred my mind to jelly. Did you want to know why you fought your way through a city full of demons to get to a skyscraper? Well, too bad, because the next cutscene is landing on an oil rig for some reason. Why are they in this museum stealing a coin? What does it do? I don't know. I just know that she called and then said,
Till next time.
So naturally the next step would be to jump off of a clock tower and pretend you're Kratos in the next cutscene. Why does a demon helicopter chase you around? Why did this building just come alive? Would I like to know what this timer means when it shows up? Possibly. You'd think for a game that lets you fight devil tanks and hellfire goat demons, the combat would be entertaining at least, right? I'd like to now call the court's attention to Exhibit 406. I rest my case, Your Honor. You're welcome. I know. Thanks. The boss fights in this made me relate to Link in the Faces of Evil, thinking, it sure is boring around here. There's a lot of things that in theory in this game should be really cool. Let's take Infested Chopper, for example. The entire fight consists of you shooting your guns in the air at a barely visible helicopter so you can slowly inch down its health bar. And I mean slowly. I think a sloth could probably cross a river faster than it takes to shoot this thing all the way down to no health. I think the big problem is that this game is missing the style of the first game. In an attempt to make it more serious, they kind of neutered themselves to take out what was actually really great about it. But that all changed when I found out what's really fun in games: elevators. There's something just so unbelievably satisfying about going down an elevator, don't you think? Did you know that statistically speaking, elevators are the safest form of travel? More so than planes, actually. Because people who die in elevators are generally just elevator technicians, which is pretty obvious, but the first elevator was actually strongly believed to be invented in 236 BC by Archimedes. Did you know that? That's kind of wild, right? Even the Colosseum had elevators operated by slaves, which is kind of nuts. I think there was like 24 in total, ran by like 200 slaves. Romans, right? They're also statistically 20 times safer than escalators. Also, did you know that elevators, on the bright side, Devil May Cry 2 at least gifted the world with another voice acting god with Arius, this wonderful man, truly the MVP of the game.
Well, what have we here?
Do you have to ask?
Yes, Dante, I kind of do actually. I'm very confused.
Maybe another time.
For a second, I just want you to take a look at this pristine, lovely map from Devil May Cry 1. Look at this beautiful location indicator and this majestic objective marker. Boom. Epic, lovely, nice, functional. What is this? Like, why? I don't understand. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. Say hypothetically, you had a timer to get off an oil rig before it blew up for an unexplained reason, and you got to a plane. Would you think to get in and fly away from the oil rig? Obviously not, you dingus. You get in the plane and think it's taking off. When you get confused, you wait. Then you get back out and you realize the plane just smashed into a fan. Obviously, the next step should be to stumble around until you accidentally jump behind the fan so you ride off in a motorcycle because it turns out you're not on an oil rig anymore. After that, Dante decides to go to some ruins to look at the floor, I guess, because, as you do. Okay. What? We're here now, I guess. It's never explained why you were heading underground, but Dante had some luck points saved up, I guess, and ends up running into Lucia down there.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
But
what?
actually, I do not deserve this power.
What power? I don't understand.
Bring this to Mathieu for me. Please.
You haven't even told me what this cup is. So after a boss fight that takes less than 2 minutes, he runs into the old lady again.
It seems you have obtained the final arcana.
Now I gotta be clear. This is the first time we are hearing these words. Then she says something crazy. She says in less than 2 minutes from the last cutscene, Lucia has now been captured by Arius and has infiltrated his base. That's an impressive speed run. Anyway, Dante continues his obsession with Harvey Dent flipping a trick coin to make decisions in this game because, I don't know, he watched The Dark Knight recently. So she gives Dante a bunch of random arcana that she still refuses to explain. Naturally, this is the next scene with nothing in between.
That man is going to bring me the arcana shortly. You will live to see that.
That's just a piece of crap.
How did Dante get inside the headquarters of the main bad guy? Some questions don't have answers, but I think Dante just beat Lucia's speedrun.
Forget about me. Kill Arius.
Don't worry. I've got you.
I like these scenes. These scenes are great. If the game was just this, I would have a wonderful time. I gotta give credit where it's due. This next scene is some of the greatest voice acting I've ever seen. Celine Dion's heart may go on, but this voice acting is gonna go on in my heart forever.
What? What's going on?
Is there a problem?
You! Is that the medallion?
A false coin for a false god.
So anyway, you fight him and he uses his most powerful move, sit on a bench, before this dialogue from the gods.
My dream! My life! I was going to be the king of this world!
King? Yeah. Here's your crown.
So after the most epic PowerPoint transition of all time, Lucia is asking you to
Kill me.
because she thinks she's going to start killing people.
Kill me.
But Dante decides that's for nerds. Remember when you stopped the ritual in the last mission? Well, naturally the ritual happens. You gotta give it to them. They definitely hit their quota for their sky beams.
The ritual was incomplete. But the door to the demon world is...
She's right, it was incomplete, but we don't know why it ever opened. It doesn't ever say. So Lucia continues to have self-esteem issues, so Dante throws out his catchphrase.
Devils never cry.
So Dante pretends to be Harvey Dent one more time to distract her and then enters the sky beam.
Hold on to my coin, Lucia.
So Dante enters the portal and fights a Cronenberg blob of all of the bosses he's killed using an infinite ammo glitch. Then Dante fights a hermaphrodite demon who, for some reason, just lets him sit there pointing a gun at him for an obscenely long time and then just is like, you know what, it's fine. Maybe now is the time to get shot in the face. He finds a motorcycle there with the power to ride off into Hell's Sunset and end the game without any credits.
Yeah. Let's go all the way to hell.
Alright, never mind. Best game ever.